Marcus Aurelius was the most powerful man on earth. He had access to every luxury and treasure imaginable. Yet he wrote a private set of rules to get what he wanted without destroying his soul. What he wrote in his diary contradicts everything modern society tells you about wealth. Most people fail because they chase success the wrong way. I am going to share his exact 10 rules with you today. But first, you must understand a dangerous trap that keeps most people poor and unhappy. The trap is thinking that the world owes you something. It does not. The universe does not care about your desires. You have to attract what you want by becoming a certain kind of person. Let us walk through the 10 ancient rules that build that exact person. We will start with the physical habits, but as we move down the list, we will enter the dangerous territory of the mind. Rule number 1, stop chasing shadows. This is the absolute foundation of all Stoic power. You must focus only on what you control. You cannot control the economy. You cannot control the algorithm. You cannot control what other people think of you. These things are just shadows. When you chase them, you waste your precious life force. Consider the philosopher Epictetus. He was born a slave and had his leg broken by a cruel master. He had zero control over his physical body or his bank account, but he realized he had absolute control over his own mind. By focusing only on his own thoughts and choices, he eventually gained his freedom and became a teacher to Roman emperors. To manifest wealth, you must pull all your energy away from the outside world and put it entirely into your own daily actions. When you stop crying about the unfairness of the world, your energy can finally be used to build real, valuable skills. Rule number 2, desire less to have more. The modern world tells you to want everything. Advertisements tell you that you need a new car, a new phone, and a better house to be happy. But wanting everything makes you a weak slave to everything. Seneca was one of the richest men in Rome. He had mansions, vineyards, and massive political power. Yet he famously said that it is not the man who has too little, but the man who craves more, who is truly poor. To manifest everything you want, you must first be completely fine with having absolutely nothing. This sounds strange, but it is a massive advantage in business. Think about a negotiation. If you are desperate for the money, you will accept a terrible deal. But if you are perfectly happy walking away empty-handed, you hold all the power. Money naturally flows to people who are calm. It always runs away from people who are desperate. Rule number 3, master your time. Time is the only currency you can never earn back. You can lose $1 million today and make it back tomorrow. But a wasted hour is gone forever. Average people give their time away to endless distractions. They trade the precious hours of their lives for temporary digital entertainment. Seneca wrote an entire essay on this, called On the Shortness of Life. He pointed out that people protect their physical property with locks and guards, but they let total strangers steal their time. A Stoic protects his time like a heavy stone fortress. If you want to be wealthy, you must treat your minutes as more valuable than pure gold. Say no to anything that does not serve your highest purpose. You cannot manifest a great life if you spend all your hours watching other people live theirs. Rule number 4, work in total silence. Fools broadcast their plans to the entire world. They talk loudly about what they are going to do, because they crave cheap validation from others. The ancient philosophers knew that talking drains the exact energy required for doing. Epictetus warned his students never to talk about their philosophy, but to simply show it through their actions. When you tell everyone your big goals, your brain gives you a fake reward. It makes you feel successful before you have done any of the hard work. Keep your grand goals quiet. Work in total silence. Observe how the world actually works, how people behave, and where the real opportunities hide in plain sight. The quiet observer always sees the clear path to success that the loud talker completely misses. Let your actual massive success be the only noise you ever make. Those were the basics. They clear the noise from your daily life. But those are just physical habits. The next set of rules requires you to break your own mind. Now we get into the dangerous territory. If you want to truly reshape your reality and manifest success, you must adopt rules that most people are completely terrified to practice. Rule number 5, seek discomfort willingly. Most people run as fast as they can from pain. They want the softest bed, the warmest room, and the easiest path. But constant comfort makes you incredibly weak. It makes you fragile when hard times inevitably arrive. The Stoic rule is to practice poverty on purpose. Seneca, despite his billions, would set aside a few days every month to wear cheap clothes, sleep on the hard floor, and eat dry crusts of bread. He did this to ask himself one question: is this the condition I feared? By choosing discomfort, you train your primitive brain to stop fearing it. When you no longer fear failure or poverty, you become absolutely unstoppable. You take bold risks to build wealth because the worst-case scenario no longer scares you. Rule number 6. Ignore the crowd. If you want what the 1% has, you cannot do what the 99% does. The crowd is always driven by blind fear and greedy impulses. A Stoic builds an inner fortress that the opinions of strangers cannot penetrate. Marcus Aurelius ruled an empire, yet he constantly reminded himself of a strange truth. He wrote that it never ceases to amaze him how we all love ourselves more than other people, but we care more about their opinion than our own. When average people mock your intense focus, you must not care. When they tell you your big goals are impossible, you must not listen. To manifest wealth, you must become completely immune to the opinions of average people. You cannot soar like an eagle if you are listening to the daily advice of pigeons. Rule number 7. Turn obstacles into fuel. When average people hit a massive wall, they quit. They complain loudly that life is deeply unfair. A Stoic looks at that exact same wall and says, "This is exactly what I need." Consider the founder of Stoicism himself, a man named Zeno. Zeno was a very wealthy merchant until a massive storm sank his ships and destroyed his entire fortune. He lost everything in a single day. But instead of crying, he went to a bookstore, discovered philosophy, and started a movement that changed the world. He later smiled and said that he made a prosperous voyage when he suffered shipwreck. Every problem you face is a brilliant opportunity to practice virtue. A failed business is an expensive lesson in resilience. You do not just barely survive bad luck. You use it to become much stronger. You must become a roaring fire that feeds on absolutely everything thrown into it. Rule number 8. Act with strict discipline. Motivation is a complete myth. It comes and goes with your fleeting moods and the weather outside. Discipline is what actually builds generational wealth. In his private diary, Marcus Aurelius actually wrote about his own struggle to get out of his warm bed on dark, freezing mornings. He was the emperor. He had servants who could do everything for him, but he forced himself up by remembering that he was born to do the difficult work of a human being. You must create a strict daily routine. Do the hard work when you are exhausted. Do the hard work when you are deeply sad. Consistency is the invisible magic that compounds over long periods of time to manifest massive success. Rule number 9. Expect the worst. This habit separates the absolute masters from the beginners. The Stoics called this premeditatio malorum, which means the premeditation of evils. You must vividly imagine everything going wrong. Imagine losing all your hard-earned money. Imagine your closest friends betraying you. This sounds incredibly negative, but it is actually the ultimate psychological superpower. When you picture the worst-case scenario in detail, you realize it is not actually that bad. You prepare your mind for total disaster. If a market crashes or a deal falls through, average people panic and lose their minds, but you do not, because you already imagined it happening months ago. You move forward with complete, quiet confidence. This calm, unshakable energy is exactly what attracts massive wealth. Rule number 10. Value character over currency. We have now reached the final rule. This is the peak. This is the ultimate secret the Stoics used to conquer the world. This is the answer to the mystery of Marcus Aurelius and his private diary. He was the emperor, yet he never wrote about how to gain more power or hoard more gold. He only wrote about how to master his own soul. The grand contradiction of the universe is this: to get everything you want in life, you must stop making those worldly things your primary goal. If you make money your god, you will lie, cheat, and do desperate things to get it. This ruins your reputation and destroys your peace of mind. But if you focus purely on being a person of high character, someone who is wise, brave, fair, and highly disciplined, the world will naturally hand you wealth and success. People want to do business with honest people. Opportunities seek out disciplined workers. You do not chase success. You attract it by being a person of supreme value. If you have made it this far into the video, you are no longer part of the majority who click away when the truth gets heavy. You have the exact focus required to build a great and wealthy life. Show that strong commitment by leaving a like and subscribing to the channel right now. Let me know in the comments below which of these 10 ancient rules you are going to apply to your life today. Keep mastering your mind, and everything else you desire will surely follow.